Don't you dare boss me around because you're a contract worker. Working as a contract employee, I was verbally abused like this by a client's employee. At that time, I was furious, but I could never have anticipated the twists and turns that followed. My name is Ethan. When I was a kid, my family, to put it bluntly, was poor. We became poor because my dad had co-signed a loan for a friend. This friend had said he needed money to start a business and asked my dad to be a guarantor. However, the friend's business failed, and he disappeared, leaving only the dead behind. Since then, our days were filled with cutting costs to repay the debt. We couldn't afford toys or games, and I remember watching enviously as my friends played with their new toys. I begged my parents, but they always said they couldn't afford it. I believe they wanted to buy them for me, but we just didn't have the financial means at the time. Still, as a child, I was quite upset about not being able to have what I wanted. Around that time, a particular game became a huge hit. Everyone seemed to have it, and it was the talk of the day, every day. I desperately wanted that game and kept nagging my parents, but the answer was still no. Eventually, my frustration reached its peak, and I yelled, "Why won't you buy it for me? You're so stingy." After that, for several days, I barely spoke to my parents, and when I did, I said terrible things like I wish I were part of a different family, and I hate being so poor, I want to change my parents. But after saying those things, I also felt a sense of guilt. I never really wanted to replace my family. It was just something I said in the heat of the moment. I knew my parents weren't mean for not buying me things, and deep down, I loved them. My dad was kind and would play with me despite his busy schedule, and my mom was reliable and strong in tough situations. Eventually, overwhelmed by guilt, I decided to apologize to my parents. "I'm sorry, I don't want anyone but you as my parents." When I said this through tears, my parents smiled warmly and forgave me. "I love you very much, Ethan. We're sorry for making you suffer because of our poverty. I'm glad that you're our child." My parents hugged me tightly. This incident deepened our family bond, and I learned to cherish my parents more. Later, my parents managed to pay off the debts, allowing me to continue my education through high school. In my senior year, when it was time to decide on my future path, I chose to work instead of pursuing further education. My parents said it was okay to go to college, but I had no particular desire to attend. I thought it would be pointless to follow the crowd to college without a clear goal. Moreover, I wanted to relieve my parents of their struggles as soon as possible. I wanted to repay them for raising me. After job hunting, I received an offer from an advertising production company, and my journey as a working adult began. Since joining the company, I have worked extremely hard. It was challenging, even more than my student days. I made many mistakes, but fortunately, I had supportive supervisors and colleagues who helped me learn the ropes. Gradually, I began to achieve results and gained recognition from my boss. I was promoted and experienced managing major projects. I even handled TV commercials, some of which became big hits. Correspondingly, my salary increased. On the personal front, life was fulfilling too. Firstly, I could buy gifts for my parents with the money I earned. They both teared up with joy when I bought them brand-name bags. Additionally, I reconnected with my high school classmate, Madison, at a reunion, and we began dating. 2 years into our relationship, at Christmas, I proposed and we decided to get married. I was busy with work and couldn't pay much attention to Madison after marriage, but she never complained and was understanding. She was proactive in household chores, which was a big help. Thanks to her support, I could focus on work and successfully led several big projects. My life was going smoothly. However, decades after I started working, our company was acquired by a multinational corporation. This led to staff reductions, and voluntary retirement was offered. I considered raising my hand. Having worked non-stop since high school, I felt the need for a break. I thought I deserved a rest after all the hard work. Above all, I wanted to spend more time with my wife, Madison. Due to my frequent overtime and weekend work, we hardly spent time together. She must have felt lonely. Yet, she always cared for me, and I wanted to spend quality time with her. With sufficient savings and Madison's support, I decided to retire. Post-retirement life was relaxed and different. We decided to go on a hot spring trip, staying at a scenic mountain hotel in Colorado. The cuisine and hot springs were excellent, offering a refreshing experience. Back from the trip, I started helping with household chores, which I previously couldn't assist with. Cleaning and doing laundry together as a couple turned out to be surprisingly fun. Especially cooking was enjoyable, and planning meals while shopping together became our daily routine. Madison was happy, saying, "I never knew spending time together as a couple could be this enjoyable." We also visited my parents, helping them with chores and taking trips together. My aging parents seemed rejuvenated with my frequent visits. I was enjoying my post-retirement life, but after about 2 years, the desire to work again grew strong. While leisurely living had its merits, I craved the structure that work provided. However, I didn't want to return to the grind. Valuing family time, I wasn't interested in full-time work. Part-time or contract work seemed ideal. Madison agreed, saying, "You've had enough rest, and as long as you balance family time, it's fine." Thus, I began job hunting and eventually joined an electronics manufacturer as a contract employee. As a contract worker, I was assigned simple administrative tasks and errands. But I was happy to be working. Even small tasks contribute to someone's work. Being able to help in any way is gratifying. Madison noticed my renewed energy, saying, "You seem more vibrant since you started working again. Work really suits you." One day, an unusual task came up. I was asked to attend a negotiation with a component manufacturer. They specifically requested me, and it was a meeting for a new product developed jointly by our company and theirs. I accepted, seeing it as a chance to utilize my expertise from my advertising days. Not only the manufacturing process, but also how to promote the product was on the agenda, offering an excellent opportunity to apply my previous knowledge. Eagerly, I thoroughly reviewed the pre-meeting documents that were provided. Then came the day of the negotiation. Together with a colleague, I headed to the designated conference room 5 minutes before the scheduled time. Upon entering, I found that the other party hadn't arrived yet. Expecting them to arrive soon, we waited, but even at the appointed time, they didn't show up. Just as I was wondering what had happened, an employee entered the room and informed us that the other party was running late due to a train delay. Train delays are unavoidable, so we decided to wait for their arrival. About 30 minutes later, the representatives from the component manufacturer rushed in. He appeared to be in his 20s, a very young man. His name was Hayden. He was a recent appointee in charge of our company. A bitter feeling spread in my mind. I had never spoken directly to Hayden, but I had seen him a few times around the office. He was in negotiations with one of my colleagues, and I remember him being condescending and blaming my colleague. "Why can't you do something that simple? This is the problem with employees from low-tier colleges," he had said. Hayden's company is an important client for us. He took advantage of our inability to push back, speaking down to us. Moreover, he seemed to be an elite employee from a prestigious university, someone who discriminates based on education and status. His behavior was appalling, and hearing him nearby made me angry. After that meeting ended, my colleague was quite downcast, so I comforted him by saying, You shouldn't worry about what someone like that says. As a result, I didn't have a good impression of Hayden. Being a high school graduate and a contract employee, I expected he would discriminate against me too. True to my expectations, Hayden gave me a cold, disdainful look when he saw contract employee on my name tag and then ignored me completely. On the other hand, he was polite to my full-time colleagues, the department manager Brad and the section chief Mike. Unfortunately, department manager Nathan is delayed. He was supposed to join us here after arriving on a different train, but his train hasn't arrived yet. He explained, apologizing sincerely, a stark contrast to how he had treated me. Feeling a bit dismayed at Hayden's behavior, we decided to start the meeting without waiting for Nathan, as it was getting late. The plan for the day was to discuss the details of a new product launch. Hayden started a presentation after distributing the documents to us. He was confident and seemed sure of his opinions. However, several things concerned me. The new product was being marketed as the cheapest in the industry, but that meant using cheaper components, significantly lowering the quality. This could lead to accidents during use, and necessary costs like labor expenses would have to be significantly reduced. Underpaying workers is a problem. Moreover, there were issues with the advertising strategy. While using TV and web advertisements was a good idea, the content of the ads was lackluster. They didn't seem to stimulate purchasing desires. Brad and Mike also seemed unconvinced, so I pointed out these issues one after the other. Considering all these points, I think it would be better to rethink the plan. I concluded. Hayden looked visibly displeased. Look, this product is aimed at general households. Of course, a lower price is better. Our company's consumer surveys also indicated a strong preference for pricing, he argued. But this product is a major project for our company. If an accident occurs during use, the consequences will be irreversible. We must ensure it's developed satisfactorily before launching. I counted. Hayden became more annoyed and pointed at my name tag. Shut up, will you? You're just a contract employee. Don't overstep your bounds. Please calm down. Whether I'm a contract employee or not shouldn't matter right now, I said. I was fed up with Hayden's discriminatory attitude, but I tried to soothe him. However, Hayden, frustrated, grabbed a nearby water bottle and angrily splashed its contents at me, saying, "Don't get cocky because you're a contract worker." Ugh. Caught off guard, I couldn't dodge in time and ended up drenched in tea. As tea dripped down from my head, Brad and Mike hurriedly offered me handkerchiefs, while Hayden smirked mockingly. This is what happens when a contract worker gets too presumptuous, he scoffed. That's too much. He's gone too far, I thought. I wanted to yell, but he represented an important client. So, I held back my anger. Just then, the door to the meeting room opened and Nathan walked in. "I'm terribly sorry for being late. What exactly is happening here?" he asked, sensing the tense atmosphere and looking confused. When Brad and Mike explained the situation, Nathan's face turned pale. "What have you done? Apologize immediately," he scolded Hayden, but Hayden was still mumbling, "But he's just a contract employee." Nathan then revealed a shocking fact to Hayden. "Listen, Ethan here previously worked at an advertising agency and had created a commercial for our company. Yes, the one that's still airing," he said. Hayden's eyes widened. "What? He made that commercial?" "Yes. As you know, that commercial became a huge hit and significantly raised our company's profile. The profits it generated are immeasurable. That's where everyone in our company, including President Thompson, respects Ethan. He's a hero to us. We invited him here today, expecting valuable advice," Nathan explained. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Hayden looked completely flustered. "Ethan, Hayden is new to our company and was unaware of your background. I'm truly sorry for his behavior," Nathan said, attempting to apologize more. which I quickly stopped. Hayden, reversing his earlier attitude, and apologized. "I'm sorry. I had no idea you were such a remarkable person and was disrespectful," he admitted. I couldn't help but smile wryly at his drastic change. Yet, since he apologized, I chose to forgive him. "Hayden, let's let this go. It's common to make mistakes when young. I too made many when I was younger," I remarked. Hayden's face showed relief. Then, looking at him, I added, "However, judging people by their education or position isn't right. True value lies within a person. Aim to be great in character, not just in education." Hayden nodded solemnly. I was raised in a family that valued academic achievement and always thought that people with high education or status were remarkable. But this incident has shown me that I was wrong. From now on, I will properly engage with people, he said. Hearing this, I felt a sense of relief. He would surely grow in the right direction from now on. Looking again at the documents, I said, "Hayden, your documents are very well prepared, and your explanation was clear. The strategy of creating a low-cost product and using web advertisements is not wrong. With some revisions, it could be a great plan." Hayden's face brightened. "Understood. I'll make the necessary corrections before our next meeting," he replied. Later, I learned that Hayden was demoted and couldn't be promoted for some time. He was being strictly trained under Nathan. A month later, we had another meeting. Hayden apologized again for his previous misconduct and presented a revised plan. The new content was significantly improved. The product, utilizing new materials, achieved cost reduction without compromising safety, greatly enhancing its safety features. This way, we can confidently launch it in the market. The content of the advertisement was also problem-free. In fact, I had provided various pieces of advice regarding this. Hayden took them seriously. He himself had studied advertising in depth, resulting in a campaign that would surely resonate with consumers. "Hayden, well done. Both the product and the advertising look great," I said after his presentation. His face lit up with joy. "Thanks to you, Ethan. I'll keep working hard for the success of this project," he said, his eyes clear, showing his sincere change of heart. Accepting mistakes, facing oneself and others, and growing from them, that's what life is all about, I realized. Thus, despite some initial troubles, the project progressed smoothly, and the product became a big hit. The advertisement also became a hot topic on social media for its creativity. I was offered a position as a full-time employee in recognition of my achievements, but I declined. My desire to prioritize time with Madison was stronger, so the flexibility of being a contract worker suited me better. Having wrapped up a major project, I planned a trip with Madison and my parents. Madison gets along well with my parents, so she immediately agreed. It had been a while since our whole family traveled together, creating joyful memories. We decided to make such occasions a regular event. I was furious when Hayden splashed tea on me, but I'm glad things turned around positively. It was a refreshing reminder of the joy of working. However, for me now, my family, including Madison, is more important. My ability to come this far in life is thanks to my family. For the rest of my life, I intend to cherish the time spent with my